Hey yo, it's Rackenoff here with the first of our short, sweet, simple guides series. Starting with Gorecrusher. Painful boss. Firstly, I want to pull up a really beautiful quality edited image to let you know where the location is of the boss. Which is in Cursed Forest, right on this peak here. And it's in a cave, so you don't need to worry about day or night cycles, which is good. On top of that, the abilities we run normally would be Sanguine Cell for bossing, as the sustain is amazing. But of course, Chaos Volley for DPS. I run Chaos Barrage, but there's all sorts of ultimates you could use. And I use the Blood Veil for the sustain, because having some sustain in your build is, it's worthwhile. Apart from that, it's all preparation, preparation, preparation. Do not attempt this boss under gear scored. He's incredibly tanky and he hits quite hard, as we'll see. A lot of his mechanics are pretty simple, kind of dance, kind of read him, generally starts with a charge. A charge is pretty short range. You can sidestep it or kite it backwards. Another useful tip is to not try to put too much distance between you and him. If you do that, he will more than likely just instant cast a leap while you don't have your veil up. That's the leap he casts. As you can see, if you don't have your veil, you're almost guaranteed to take some damage there. This is the first of the 3 bosses that drop a soul shard, which is very useful later in the game. This is the charge phase. You just want to sidestep one way till he starts to charge, and then sidestep back the other way. You can juke it out. You don't need to use your veil. Again, that's what happens when you put too much distance between him and you. In certain situations, he will just instant cast that leap. That smash isn't too hard to avoid. You just want to walk out of the initial area and get between the aftershock lines. That triple swipe combo can be bad. If the last strike hits you, it will stun, so it's worth veiling, sidestepping, or just backpedaling. Same deal with that charge phase, though, you just dance your way through it. I recommend Brute or Rogue Blood, maybe even Warrior, probably not, for this fight, as you may notice he doesn't take a great deal of spell damage. We actually do more damage to him with our physical attacks. Now, this ad phase, not the most complicated thing in the world. You want to get him down as fast as possible. He goes into a trance briefly. When he comes out of it, he will charge and stun you if you don't dodge it. Combined with these ads, it can be devastating because they hit pretty hard. So you want to put the wolf down as soon as possible, kite the bear, and keep an eye on what Gorecrusher's doing. Again, we dance out the charges. Veil the leaps if you have to. As we can see, the sustain from Blood Veil is quite good. You don't really need Sanguine Cell if you're not getting hit. Seems easy enough. For the first 60-70% of Gorecrusher, it's not too difficult. It's kind of like practice. You get a little bit better at his mechanics, and then you get your eyes opened to what he really has in store for you. This Wisp phase isn't the worst thing in the world. They do hit pretty hard, but they're easy enough to avoid. Wherever he puts the Wisps down, you kind of just want to stay out of that area and fight him elsewhere for a while. Now the ad phase with Spectral Wolf and Spec Bear, or Mist Bear, whatever, you want to put them down. Nice and quick. Try not to get hit. Of course, when he comes out of his little trance, he's going to charge you. For some reason, I ate that one. That short range charge, if it hits you, he will flip you over his head and it stuns you, allowing him to usually follow up with another hit. So you don't want to cop that short range charge. Another Wisp phase. This is where it starts to get interesting. He'll summon a Spirit Clone, Mist clone, call it what you will. It has all the same moves as him. So now you're 2v1ing the boss. You got to try and keep an eye on what moves they are both doing at the same time. This is where it gets a little hairy. I recommend putting the spirit down as fast as possible, as it is nowhere near as tanky as Gorecrusher himself. But the issue is, it will respawn. This is why we run the Void Orb thing, whatever it's called, rather than Sanguine Cell. A little bit of extra AoE lets you put the spirit down, lets you put the ads down faster. And honestly, the sustain from Sanguine Cell is not going to save you if you can't kill that spirit. The spirit will go incapacitated or immobilized, whatever the actual status is, once you get it to 0, but it will just sit there and regen to full. So while you have the spirit down, that is your chance to get as much damage as you can on Gorecrusher. The real Gorecrusher, that is. Noted though that you only have so much time, because that spirit will res, and it will start casting his abilities. And you'll have to deal with the double charge and the double slap and all sorts of stuff. As you can see, we go from full health to about 5-10% pretty quickly once we've got to fight him and the spirit at the same time. But he's not the most complicated. You can get him down. Just DPS those ads. And yeah, beware that the Wisp do hang around after death. You can die here. And that would mean you'd have to do it all again, but don't worry, we did that. That's fine. It happened. And that's Gorecrusher. He's relatively simple, but very, very entertaining, challenging kind of fight to learn solo and pick up on the fly. Just bring as many potions as you can. You want to be rocking Enchanted Brews, Ferocity Brews, any Soul Shard buffs that you may already have, even though he is the first Soul Shard boss. That will be all for this one, though. Thank you very much for liking, sub, follow, comment below for the next guide, just to help support the algorithm gods. Catch you on the next one.
How far can we get if we sail a little bit high, a little bit low? I need us to be a little bit high, a little bit low, completely